Hi, boys and girls. We're going to go ahead and get started our first lesson in our third grade level book. So grab that big workbook that you have, and we're going to go to page 7. All right. So we're going to be on page 7 in your book. And that's actually technically the beginning page of lesson 1 that is about multiplication as a repeated addition. We're actually going to go to the next page, page 8. All right, so you can see here, this is what our video is going to be about. So you can have page 8 open in front of you. This is what we would do if we were in class. So have page open in front of you, and we're going to watch the video, and we're going to go over it with the video, okay?
How can you find the total number of objects in equal groups? Think about this question during the lesson. Jessie used 3 bags to bring home the goldfish she won at a fun fair. She put the same number of goldfish in each bag. How many goldfish did she win? Let's find out. How many goldfish do you see in each bag?
Okay.
Select your answer.
Let's look at the goldfish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in that bag. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in this bag. So I'm guessing it's going to be 8 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can just see it, 8. So we're going to take 8 and place them up here.
There are 8 goldfish in each bag. How can counters help to show groups?
Okay, so let's think about that. How can counters help to show groups? So remember we talked about that when we were doing one of our lessons last week, how we can use those little counters to count pieces and parts and put them together. And remember that we always have to have an equal amount in each group to do multiplication. So we couldn't do multiplication if there was 8 in these two and 7 in this one. We could multiply these two and then add the 7. But to do multiplication, they all have to have the same amount in each group.
The counters show 3 groups of 8 goldfish.
I can use counters to show the groups.
You can use addition to join equal groups. There are 3 bags with 8 goldfish in each bag.
Okay, so let's look at that. We have 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups. And there are 8, 2, 4, 6, 8 in each group. So they did a bar diagram right here. And they put 8 in each spot. And there are 3 spots to represent each bag. So how many fish do we have altogether? That's what we're trying to find out. Oh, we're going to try it.
Select each group of counters to add.
Okay, so they're going to show us how we're going to use these counters and use them in a tape diagram or a bar diagram.
8. 8 plus 8 equals 16. 8 plus 8 plus 8 equals 24.
Okay.
8 plus 8 plus 8 equals 24. Jessie won 24 goldfish. The addition relates to the counters because it shows adding 3 groups of 8. Multiplication is an operation that gives the total number when you join equal groups. The bar diagram shows 3 bags of goldfish with 8 goldfish in each bag. How can this be written using multiplication?
Okay, so there's a symbol we use to show groups of. So when we're doing 3 groups of 8, we have a symbol that we use for the word groups of. Let's see what they tell us here.
There are 3 groups or bags with 8 goldfish in each bag. So 3 times 8 equals 24.
Okay, so looking at that problem, 3 times 8 equals 24. Let's take out that x, which we use as our multiplication symbol, and put the word groups of. 3 groups of 8 equal 24. So whenever you see that multiplication sign, you can think groups of.
Factors are the numbers that are being multiplied. The first factor, 3, represents the 3 groups, or bags. The second factor, 8, represents the 8 goldfish in each bag. The product is the answer to a multiplication problem. The product in this equation is the total number of goldfish Jessie won, or 24 goldfish. Let's see how to show an addition equation and a multiplication equation. 8 plus 8 plus 8 equals what number? 3 times 8 equals what number? The question mark represents an amount that is not yet known in both equations.
Okay, so the answer to the addition problem, we call it the sum of these numbers, and the answer to the multiplication problem, we call the product. So we have factor and factor equal product. We have addend plus addend plus addend equals a sum.
An unknown is a symbol for a number in an equation. The question mark represents the sum that is not known in this addition equation, or the product that is not known in this multiplication equation. Both equations tell you that Jessie won 24 goldfish.
All right, so we're going to go back to our book. So right here, it's showing us all those same things that the video just talked about. So when you're doing your math homework at home, you can go back here and see what they did so that it can help you with that. All right, we're going to go to the next page, page 9, and we have guided practice. So I printed off a copy for myself, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on pause for a second, and I'm going to open up our camera so that we can see it on the camera. I'll be right back. All right, so let me go get our camera opened up. All right, so there's our problem page. Move that out of the way. All right, so let's go to number 1. Can you write 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 equals 20 as a multiplication equation? So we can. So the answer would be yes. The equation would be, and so we're going to count how many groups. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, oopsie, there was my pencil. 4 groups of, the group size is 5, equals 20. Can you see that all right? All right, we're going to go to number 2. Can you write 3 plus 4 plus 7 equals 14 as a multiplication equation? So can we make a multiplication equation to show groups of that will equal a product of 14? Our answer is going to be no. The groups have to have the same number in each one. Okay, so we talked about that before. We'd need to have 3 groups of the same number. We couldn't have different numbers. I'm writing with a pencil, so I hope you can see that okay. Let me see if I turn this off. Will that help at all? A little bit. Okay. Write an addition equation and a multiplication equation to solve this problem. So we're going to do both, a multiplication and an addition equation right here. All right. Jesse buys 4 packages of stones. There are 6 stones in each package. How many stones does Jesse buy? So if we're doing an addition problem, we have 1 bag of stones plus a second bag of stones plus a third bag of stones plus a fourth bag of stones right here. 4 packages. Okay, and we need to get the sum. We have a question mark here for the sum. So 6 plus 6 is 12, and 6 plus 6 is 12, and 12 plus 12 is 24. So the question mark equals 24. They're all the same amount in each group, so we can make that a multiplication problem. We can go over here. 4 groups of 6 equal 24. So we have repeated addition and multiplication, and they equal the same thing. There's 4 groups, and there are 6 in each group. So pause this at any point that you need to have time to get this written down. Don't move ahead without getting it written down, please. All right, so number 4, we see a group here and a group here. So it says 2 groups of, how many are in each one? We have 4. That's the same as 4 plus 4, because we can add this 4 plus this 4, and we know that makes 8. But if we're going to make a multiplication problem, we have 2 groups of 4. That makes 8. Okay. We're down here on number 5. We have 1, 2, 3 groups. Each group has the same amount. Each group has 2, 4, 6. So they all have 6. And I see here groups of 6. How many groups do I have? 3 groups. So that means I'm going to add 6 3 times. 6 plus 6 plus 6 equals question mark. We're going to figure that out. A multiplication problem would be 3 times 6 equals question mark. Let's find out. So if we do 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 6 is 18. So the question mark equals, 18. And this equals 18. All right, so freeze, make sure you have all of this written down on the top before you move down to the independent practice. As soon as you get it all written down, unpause the video and come back, and we'll be getting started on independent practice. All right, so you've written everything down, and come back to go through the next section. Okay. We're going to complete 6 and 7 using the pictures to help. So I see 5 here, and I see 5 here. It says I have 2 groups of, and I see 5 in each of those groups. Okay. 5 plus 5 equals 10. Then we can do 2 groups of 5 equal 10. All right, let's go to the next one. 5 groups, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 groups, and there are 4 in each one. 5 groups of 4. Okay, 4 plus 4 plus 4, so we only have 3 here, and so there's 5, plus 4 plus 4. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. So we have 20 here. Skip counted by 4. 5 groups of 4 is the same as 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. I said floor. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness sakes. All right. So do we see how this is faster? It's more efficient than doing all of these to add together. So as we're getting older, we're going to get more efficient. Efficient means we're going to be able to do it in less steps, faster and easier. All right. Let's go to numbers 8 through 11. In numbers 8 through 11, complete each equation. Use counters or draw a picture to help. So if you have counters, like even beans, you can use beans to count with, marbles, stones, or draw a picture. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a picture since that way you can see it easier on the screen. All right, so 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 is the same as, because equal sign is the same as. The same as. Equal means same as. So this side is the same answer as this side. They're just written differently. 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 is the same as 4 groups of 8. Okay? 9 plus 9, because that's the group size, plus 9, again, is giving us 1, 2, 3 groups of 9. All right. If you were going to draw that, flip my paper over here. If you were going to draw that, you'd have 3 groups with 9 in each one. So if you wanted to, you could do a 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So you could find out your answer that way. They're not asking us to solve. They just want us to show that the addition is equal to the multiplication. This problem is showing us we have 3 blanks, so 3 groups of 7. So we have 7 here, and 7 here, and 7 here. 3 groups of 7 is the same as 7 plus 7 plus 7. 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups of 6. All right, make sure you pause until you have everything written down. And when you are done with that, you can unpause it and come back to the next page, which is page 10. Okay, we're going to be at the top of page 10. Okay. It says Deborah draws this shape on the back of her notebook. What is the name of the shape Deborah draws? How do you know? So they give us some other questions in here, not just the ones we're learning about, just so that we can keep practicing other skills. So think about this. What shape is this? To me, I've seen a shape like this, but maybe it's brought in a little bit closer and it's not quite so spread out, but it's still the same name. Maybe I'll count the sides to see how many sides it has. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 6 sides. I know that a pentagon has 5 sides, so a hexagon has 6 sides. So the shape is a hexagon because it has 6 sides. All right. Hopefully you can see that okay. Number 13, Salvatore gets 50 trading cards for his birthday. He trades some cards with his friend Madison. Okay, so we have 50 trading cards. Salvatore gives 22 cards to Madison, and Madison gives 18 cards to Salvatore. Then Salvatore's sister gives him 14 cards. How many trading cards does Salvatore have now? Use math to represent the problem. So let's start out. He has 50 to begin with. He gives away, that's what our subtraction sign is, 22 cards. Okay? We can stack it, 50 minus 22. We can't take 2, excuse me, let me bring it over here so you can see it. We can't take 2 out of 0, so we're going to borrow a 10 and bring that 10 over here. 10 minus 2 is 8. 4 minus 2 is 28. So there are 28 left that Salvatore has. Madison gives 18 to Salvatore. Okay, so now he just got 18. 18 more. 28 plus 18. 8 plus 8 is 16. Carry 1. 1 plus 2 plus 1 is 4. So now he has 46 cards. Okay, so we've done all of 50, gave away 22. She gave him 18. Now his sister gives him 14. So 46 plus 14. 4 plus 6 is 10. Carry your 1. 1 plus 4 is 5 plus 1 more is 6. 60. How many trading cards does he have now? 60 cards now. He has how many more than he started with? Can you think about that? He started with 50. He ended with 60. How many cards did he end with? He has how many more than when he started? All right, pause so you can get all of this written down and then come back. All right, so you're back. Now number 14 says, Luke says you can always add and you can always multiply to join groups. Is he correct? Explain why or why not. So let's read that again. Luke says you can always add and you can always multiply to join groups. Is he correct? Are they the same? Can you always add and you can always multiply to join groups? Okay? It is only true if the numbers in each group are the same, right? Because we can't add, like we did on the backside, we can't add 3 plus 4 plus 7 and then make a multiplication problem out of it. You can add 3 plus 4 plus 7 and get the answer. You can do that. You can join those groups, but you can't make a multiplication problem out of it because the group has to have the same number. It is only true if the numbers in each group are the same, okay? So Luke is wrong because to multiply, you have to have, see, I skipped a word here. Excuse me, I am wrong. Oh, to have equal groups. Oh, Mrs. Martinez, you guys are getting to see how silly I am. Oh my. All right. So that's the important thing. If you want to multiply, you have to have equal groups. You can add anything, but you have to change that to multiplication. They have to have the same amount in each group. Number 15. Lois says any addition equation where the addends are all the same can be written as a multiplication equation. Is Lois correct? Explain why or why not. So an add-in is all of the numbers that you can add. So down here on this bottom here, These are addends because you're adding them. Each one's an addend. So Lois is saying an equation where the addends are all the same can be written as a multiplication equation. Is she correct? Yes. Lois is correct because to do a multiplication, problem, got it really close there. You must have equal groups. All right. So go ahead and get that copied down. Go ahead and pause it if you need to. There's those two answers right there. When you're finished getting those written down, come back and we're going to do 16 and 17 together. All right, 16 says, Mark has 12 ears of field corn to make table decorations. He arranges them in 2 groups of 6. How can you represent this? Choose all that apply. All right, so he has 12 ears of field corn to make table decorations. He arranges them in 2 groups of 6. So he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 groups, okay? 2 tables. Is that the same as 12 groups of 2? If we did 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 groups, 5 groups, 6 groups, that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. We're already at 12, and we only have 6 groups of 2. So no, we can't pick that one. How about if we do 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Well, it equals 12. Is that showing us 2 groups of 6 though? No, that's showing us 6 groups of 12. 6 plus 6, could we do that? Yes. Could we say 2 groups of 6? Yes. Could we say 12 plus 2 plus 6? No, because they're not equal groups, so we can't choose that one. All right, number 17, Jenna saves $5 each week. She wants to know how much money she has saved after 6 weeks. How can you represent this? Choose all that apply. So she has 6 weeks. So there's 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks. And she makes $5 this week, $5 this week, 5 here, 5 here, 5 here, 5 here, because each week she gets the same money. Okay? So 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can do that one. Could we do 5 groups of 5? Well, I have 5 in the groups, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups. That's not enough. Could I do 5 plus 6? Well, then that would only be 11, and there's clearly more than 11, so that wouldn't work. Could I do 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 5 times? Well, that would be 5 groups of 6, and this is 6 groups of 5. Let's see. How about 5 groups of 6? Could we represent it that way? We could do 5 groups of 6. That would be associative property. We haven't learned that one yet. But 5 groups of 6 would actually be the same answer, but it's not the same problem as they're having up there. Okay? All right, so we're going to flip back to so make sure you get this written down. We're going to flip back to our book. All right, and we're going to talk about your homework. Okay, so we are on page 11. This is your homework. So at the top, each group below has the same number of squares. There are 5 groups of squares. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups of 4. So we've done a bar diagram here. An addition equation or a multiplication equation can represent the total number of squares. So they're showing us 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 equals 20, or 5 groups of 4 equals 20. So we're going to go to these problems on the bottom, and we're going to use this picture to help us finish the problem. 4 groups of how much? 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 equals what? 4 groups of what equals the same thing. Using the bar diagram here with your 8, the total is 32. So how many groups do you have? How many numbers would you add here together, and how many groups of? And then in this one, it says write the addition equation as a multiplication equation. So that show us 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals 15. How can I write that as a multiplication problem? How many groups of 3 do I have? Same with number 4, 7 plus 7 plus 7 equals 21. How can I write that with groups of? Then when you get to 5, 6, 7, and 8, they want you to do the opposite. They want you to take this 5 groups of 5 and show us addition. 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. So you're going to do that opposite on these. So just like we have addition problems here, we're going to write the multiplication problem that matches it. On these multiplication problems, we're going to write the addition problems that match. All right, so number 9 says on the back, Jan buys 3 bags of bread. Each bag contains 7. Boys and girls, did you hear what I just said? Mrs. Martinez, what's going on? Let's read that again. Jan buys 3 bags of beads, not bread. Each bag contains 7 beads. Draw a bar diagram and write an addition equation and a multiplication equation to show how many beads Jan buys. How are the 2 equations related? So that's a big one. I'm going to write a whole bunch of stuff in that space right there. All right. No, I didn't see one. All right, so number 10, Misha buys 4 boxes of 6 markers each. Sorry, I was talking to Mr. Martinez for a second. Misha buys 4 boxes of 6 markers each. He writes this addition equation to equal or to show how many markers he buys. So he has 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6. That's 4 different boxes of 6 equals 24. What multiplication equation can Misha write to represent this situation? So remember all that we've been working on and you can have your guided practice with you that we just did together. Have that with you to remind you of how you could write that as a multiplication problem. I know some of you are going to be like, oh my gosh, this is so easy. And some people are like, okay, I'm getting it. And you know what? It doesn't matter where you are on understanding. It just matters that you just keep trying. Keep working it out. Ask lots of questions because that's a teacher's job. It's my job to help you. So if you don't understand something, it's okay for you to say, hey, Mrs. Martinez, what? I don't understand this. Because like I've said before, this is my job and I love my job. My job is to help you understand these things so that when you go to 4th grade, you'll understand even more. And then every year you're building on those skills. So please, 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 you know what they say, the only bad question that there is the one you don't ask. You should always ask. All right, number 11. Some scientists think that geese fly in a V-shaped group to save energy, which helps them fly farther against the wind. Ellen sees 3 groups. Each group has 9 geese. How many geese does she see in all? Okay, so the first part is not important to the math problem, but where the math problem starts is Ellen sees 3 groups. Each group has 9 geese. How many geese does she see in all? We're going to write it as an addition problem and a multiplication problem. 3 groups of 9. So we have 9, 9, and 9. Okay. Number 12. Carrie draws this picture to show 3 groups of 3. So there's 3 boxes and each one has 3 in it. Is Carrie's picture correct? Yes or no? And why? So if you say yes, her picture is correct, how do you know it's correct? If you say no, her picture is not correct, how do you know it's not correct? So you're going to write both of those things down. We're going to correct this tomorrow. So please, you really have to have this done before you watch our video correcting it tomorrow. All right, number 13. Marion has 4 cards. Jake has 4 cards. And Sam has 3 cards. Can you write a multiplication equation to show how many cards they have in all? Can you write a multiplication problem? Didn't ask if you can do an addition problem. It asked, can you do a multiplication problem? And if you said yes, why or how do you know that? And if you said no, how do you know that? Okay, they want you to explain yourself. Number 14, Martin has 3 piles of coins. Each pile has 5 dimes. How can you represent this? Choose all that apply. So what you can do is also draw a picture of 3 piles of coins, and there's 5 in each one, and then go through the list and see which ones are the same as 3 piles of 5. Number 15, Snazzy Sneakers is having a shoe sale. Anthony buys 4 pairs of shoes. How can you represent this? Choose all that apply. Okay, they're having a shoe sale. He buys 4 pairs of shoes. How many shoes is that? 4 pairs of shoes. Okay, think of a pair. How many's in a pair? And then go through and see which ones apply. All right, so while you're watching this video, hopefully you've been pausing it the whole time as you're going so that we're doing it together. If you need to go back and watch it, go back and watch it. It's okay. Don't be thinking, oh, I just want to be done. Because everybody wants to be done, but let me tell you this. If you take the time now to do it well, tomorrow is going to be easier. And if you do tomorrow's work as well as you can, the next day is going to be easier. But when we say, oh, I don't care, I'm just going to finish it because I just want to be done. Then tomorrow you're going to be like, oh, wait, what was that we already, I think we did something like this. And now the next day is hard. And then you're always playing catch up. So it's a lot easier. There's a little saying called a stitch in time saves 9. And you'll hear me say that a lot this year. It means that if you have a rip in your clothing, if you get that stitch and stitch it up quickly, it won't be a big hole. But if you leave it, it'll be so big that sometimes you have to throw it away. You can't even use it. So take care of it when it's small. Ask questions. Do your best. Remember that this is like we're building a parachute. And this parachute is going to be enormous, and it's going to help you jump out of the airplane from 3rd grade and land into 4th grade. But if your parachute has holes in it, you're not going to land in 4th grade very well. You might crash. You might have a lot of holes, and then 4th grade is going to be really hard, and you're going to try to sew up your parachute from 3rd grade and build your parachute in 4th grade. So we wouldn't want to jump out of an airplane without a parachute, and so we don't want to head to 4th grade without our 3rd grade skills. So we're sewing our parachute every little problem at a time. So try your best. Don't give up. Take a break. Take a break is different than giving up. If you're feeling like frustrated, take a break. Take a break. Not too long of a break, just a break. Come back. Try to look at it with fresh eyes. Ask for help. Email the teacher. Ask me for help, and I will be happy to help you. You guys are doing phenomenal, so I want you to keep it up. Can't wait till we're doing this in class together. It'll be so much fun. All right, I'll talk to you about our math tomorrow.